What is up guys, Taiki here, and in this video I want to discuss the recent news about El Salvador making Bitcoin legal tender. If you like the content, please like and subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section below. So let's get started. So I don't usually cover Bitcoin on this channel just because there's not much to talk about, right? I mean, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's good at being Bitcoin. And, I choose to hold it in my own personal portfolio because I believe in the thesis, right? The thesis that Bitcoin will supplant gold as the global store of value. And for that thesis to play out, it can't just be normies like you and I buying Bitcoin hoping it goes up. There has to be corporate adoption that we've been seeing, institutional adoption that we've also been seeing, but also nation state adoption, which is like playing out right in front of our eyes. Yes, El Salvador is a tiny company. Like whenever they market buy Bitcoin, like we probably will not be able to like find it in the chart, right? But it's somewhere. First El Salvador will like lay out the precedents for how these countries can like I guess adopt Bitcoin, and other countries with like garbage currencies can probably adopt it in the future, right? And I think there's gonna be a start of a domino effect, and I think it kind of accelerates the fundamental narrative for Bitcoin. And I was listening to there was this Twitter space. It's like a Clubhouse event where a bunch of Bitcoiners were talking about it, and the president of El Salvador joined the Twitter spaces, and he was like just talking to Bitcoiners about like why he did this and like what his plans are for Bitcoin for his country. And I was in it as well. And Chainlink God, our favorite frog in crypto Twitter, has a really good summary on what happened. I'll provide a link to this in the description below. But it just made me more bullish. And last night I just couldn't help myself. I bought more Bitcoin. Like during the Twitter spaces, like there was like so many bullish things happening, but the markets were not catching a bid. So I was like, you know what? Either this is like a great buying opportunity, or it just means that the market is that weak, right? Because if you think about it, like bull markets, they climb a wall of worry. Like when price go up, they're like bad news comes out, like FUD, right? But like the market shrug it off and just keeps going higher. But bear markets, they're built on hope, right? Where there's a bunch of people that's like hoping that it keeps going up, and there's a bunch of hopium. And in a bear market, good news gets sold into, right? Good news, I guess like the trend, people sell the pump, and bad news just adds additional sell pressure into the market. And you know what? Like for me personally, like I'm gonna be in the markets for a long time. Like I believe in the future of crypto. So I'm not a great trader, but I'm just gonna stay humble and stack some sats because my fundamental narrative is playing out. So my Bitcoin purchase can be seen here. I sold some USDC, converted it into Bitcoin. I bought like roughly $5,000, and it's earning me yield. I guess if you want this to be a farming video, I mean my Bitcoin is earning more than USDC. So if I think Bitcoin will outperform dollars, then might as well buy Bitcoin. I still do think that we're in a range-bound environment. I don't think we're going to see new all-time highs anytime soon, but if I want to maintain exposure, if I want to add exposure to the crypto markets, I think Bitcoin is a good way to express it, not financial advice. And yeah, I'm still farming DFIN with the amount I'm borrowing. But I just want to go over, I guess this news, and I guess like might make my argument that I think crypto is here to stay, and I think it's good to have a long-term mindset when it comes to these things. So let me get into this presentation. Because August of 2020, when MicroStrategy bought, $250 million worth of Bitcoin, it was like, okay, like who cares, right? I mean, like who is this crazy guy that's buying Bitcoin? But it also like led the way to Tesla buying Bitcoin. And I think it got people thinking like, okay, like maybe this is a thing. Like maybe Bitcoin is not a scam after all. And no one expected Saylor to be this crazy guy, right? I did not expect Saylor to be like this crazy. Crazy, I mean, in a good way or a bad way, it's up to you to decipher that. But, like Saylor has, I mean, in my opinion, has been a net positive to the space. And yeah, this guy is never selling, I hope, I think. And I guess for the longer term minded investor, or I guess player in the crypto space, I feel like understanding Bitcoin and ETH early on was, the retail investors, right? Like our way of front running institutions, right? What is the so-called smart money. But however, I argue that the next wave of institutional flow will be in DeFi. And I'll share some data points and to make my argument. But yesterday, Spartan Group, which is a DeFi VC, raised over $100 million of fresh capital, and I'm sure that there are a bunch of rich people, VCs, that are like trying to buy the dip on these DeFi coins or just these DeFi projects, right? And then roughly under a month ago, Framework Ventures, right? They also raised $100 million, and they were like really early into Chainlink. And we also know Andreessen Horowitz. They're planning $1 billion cryptocurrency VC fund. I think they just invested 300 million, or they led the 300 million round into Solana, right? So you can see that these funds are coming, like more money is flowing into DeFi. And Carl Icahn, who is like said to be a legendary investor, said on Bloomberg that he plans to allocate like $1 billion to 1.5 billion into crypto, right? And he mentioned Ethereum. And I don't think he's just going to buy Ethereum. He's probably going to buy other coins, right? So institutional money is coming in. And I feel like if you're in DeFi, like it's obvious. It's obvious why this is happening. Like for example, like Aave. Aave is testing out like permission pools for institutional investors. And Stani, who is the founder of Aave, said that this private pool is for institutions that are still practicing before aping into DeFi. So institutions, they're probably already here, right? Like farming or just earning yield with stable coins. And like a data point that I like to bring up is like, look at this, like literally up only, like all these stable coins. It's mostly Tether and USDC. And I mean, anyone can argue like, oh yeah, this is being like used to buy Bitcoin or ETH. But I think a good chunk of it is also just entering like DeFi in the ecosystem to take advantage of these yields that I always talk about. And I guess like the fundamentals, like decentralized exchange volumes have been insane. And Bantech, who's part of the Yearn team, like YFI, I mean, they generate $10 million in May. Like they have cash flow, they have positive cash flow, and their price to sales ratio is at 11.8. And this is in an environment where like crazy unprofitable tech companies, they have like 1,000 PS ratios. So would it really surprise you if these VCs like see like how much cash these protocols are generating and just allocate maybe like 1 to 5% of their like book into crypto, into DeFi, right? I mean, because like cryptofees.info, like I mean these protocols are just like making cash, right? Especially Uniswap. And the argument that I often like to talk about on my channel is, like let's just try Polygon-O-Matic out, because Ethereum blockchain, like it's really good at pricing retail out because transactions can go from $20 to $50, right? Depending on how congested it is. However, Polygon-O-Matic essentially has zero transaction fees. So even if you have a smaller wallet, or even if you only want to allocate like 1% of your portfolio into DeFi just to see what everything is about, I think Polygon is a good place to do so. And I have this guide, right? I have this guide where this is my free guide to yield farming on Polygon-O-Matic. You can find it on my Twitter. I'll provide this in the description below. But just got some memes in there too. To most people, it's to the farmer, its potential. But yeah, I always suggest that just try Matic out if you're new to DeFi and you don't want to deal with the high gas fees. And it's good to have a longer term mindset with these types of things because like adoption is happening, right? And maybe we're in this, maybe we will enter a bear market, or maybe we go sideways for a while. I'm in the camp that we go sideways for a while. But, if you have a longer term mindset, like who cares what price does in like the next week or so, right? Like my goal is going to be generate high yield and accumulate more coins, because if I accumulate more coins, and I do think crypto is here to stay and the crypto is going to be in this bull market, more coins means more gains. And that's why yield farming is something that I recommend to newer investors. Start safe and then expand out into the risk curve, whatever way that you want. Not financial advice. But if you like the content, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this news. Thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day.